In a time and place when you can be healthy anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to do it around the world.
And they're calling it losing weight while workationing.
Kelly's lost over 100 pounds and is ready to bring some realness.
Losing the equivalent of a chubby 5th grader is a real mindfuck.
The gringas have put down the brie and picked up some weights.
This all sounds so positive. Why'd we both cry in this episode again?
This is the Workationing Podcast.
Well, since our last few episodes have been about how I'm terminally single.
Terminally single?
I think it might be.
Terminally?
I think it might be serious. Rigor mortis is setting in.
Oh my God.
In certain places.
Somebody call the coroner.
Right.
We need to get a hearse up in here.
Right. So I thought I'd really just complete the picture by being like, hey guys.
You lost 100 pounds.
I did.
You're up to over 100 pounds.
I did, and I don't mean to sound this way about it. Like, I am very proud of myself, but I think that you've seen that it's
It's
like,
a process.
It is, and it's like very complicated for me.
Well, yeah, and you still have more to go.
Right. Because to be clear, not skinny yet, people. Not yet.
You're working on it.
I am.
You're getting your sass back.
I am. I feel good. I feel better than I've felt in a really long time. It's just I've got this complicated relationship with this, and it took me a little over a year and a half to lose 100 pounds. So this was not like a stunning, startling weight loss. Like, it's a lot, but
I don't know. I think that it was a lot, especially early on.
It
gets harder. It gets harder as you lose weight.
It does, and I've definitely had setbacks. But I don't know. It's hard for me to gauge. It's a weird thing to say that, like, I lost 100 pounds and I feel like it happened to somebody else. You know, like as much as I've worked on it every day, I also feel like I could have done better. I don't know. But you were just saying that you like added it up, and I guess that makes total sense. But it's 350,000 calorie deficit that I've created over a year and a half.
You were hungry a lot last year.
That explains the constant hunger.
The constant hunger.
Just the constant hunger. I thought I was just doing that for fun, but no.
Yeah. And I had some weight to lose too last year. I lost 30 pounds.
Yeah, girl, you look great.
I'm down in a good fighting weight, I think.
Yeah, one of these days when I'm feeling more secure with myself, we can release that. There is a video that Kari and I took in the car in Aguada last year when we were literally like driving from the airport to our Airbnb on the west side of the island, and we look like completely different people.
I look like I just woke up and ate a jar of peanut butter for breakfast every day, and then for lunch would have a sensible meal of a wheel or two of brie.
Well, you were the skinny friend.
I was, and you were like, I don't think you're fat at all, Kari. You're skinny. And I was like, I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I thought you could lose maybe 5-10 pounds. It's crazy how much you just don't see it though when you're in it.
Right.
So I guess we should start by talking about like how did I get to that place anyways?
Right, because we have known each other for 10 years. And I hadn't seen you for what, like 5 or 6?
Yeah, and I wasn't a small lady when you met me. When you met me, I weighed 30, 40 pounds more than I do now.
Right. But then when I saw you before we went out on workationing, it was like, oh, you'd put on some weight.
Yeah. So what's crazy is, okay, so let's start at the beginning. So I think this is probably, from what I can tell with other people I've spoken to who have been through a similar situation. For me, I think that this started for me as the result of some like sexual trauma that I went through. I was raped when I was 13, and my weight had never been an issue for me before that. Mm-hmm. And that was when it started for me. Like that was when I started to like slowly pack on the pounds, but I still wasn't like big in high school. I wasn't skinny. Right. But I wasn't like, I think I graduated high school and I was solidly at like a size 12, you know? Mm-hmm. So a little thick for a high school senior, but nothing crazy. And then it slowly came on over the years. I unfortunately went through a situation where I was assaulted again when I was 21. And I think that really accelerated that for me. And it also happened at the time, like my dad passed away. And I think that like that was when like the wheels kind of came off the wagon.
Right.
But still it really happened slowly over time. It wasn't until the last couple of years before workationing that it started to pile on at kind of like a more alarming rate.
Did anybody ever say anything to you about it?
No. Well, one time when this was actually after I moved to Pittsburgh, but actually after I moved to Pittsburgh, like around the time that I met you, that was when I started really struggling with it. That was when I started like I moved to Pittsburgh and I really quickly put on like 20, 30 pounds. And I came back and my mom asked me if I was considering bariatric surgery. And that was like the only time that anyone had ever said anything to me about that. And I remember being really like offended and hurt and upset, and also feeling like she was being a little extreme, because I think I was probably 280, 285 at that point. So like, I don't think she was being that extreme actually, especially as fast as I was putting it on.
Right.
But in my mind, I didn't feel at that weight. I felt like I was thick, but I think about the time I got over 200 pounds and everything beyond that, I think I never at any point had a really good, I felt like I carried weight well, and that kind of, it didn't really make that big of a difference. And I know that sounds crazy.
No, because I understand too. Like I they say that when you go to college, you put on the freshman 15, and I have always been an overachiever. So I was like, 15, fuck that. Let me hit 30. And then after that, I just, slow creep. Every year you put on 5 pounds or so.
Right.
And
it doesn't feel like that much when you're putting on less than a pound a month. Like it happens real slow. Your jeans kind of just like expand slowly with you.
Yeah. All of a sudden you're looking a little muffiny and you're like, well, did I just pull these out of the dryer? No. I've worn these jeans at least 3 times now. So it's not a dryer situation, but I, at my heaviest, got up to like 180, and you saw what that looked like on me. You've seen the photos.
Yeah, it's you look like a different lady.
Honestly, like I do look different. I did look different, but I felt the same. I swear, I felt like I was still 130 pounds.
Yeah, it's crazy how that just kind of gets away from you, the denial of it. And it's hard for me to know, like, does the dysmorphia come after the weight gain? I think that definitely made it worse. But looking back, I think I have pretty severe body dysmorphia, actually. And I don't think I've ever had a good sense of what I look like. And I can really be looking at myself directly in the mirror or looking at a picture of myself, and somehow the reality of that never quite translates. And it's a hard thing to describe if that's not something that you've ever experienced before. But I know for me, I don't have a good sense of my body, and I don't think that I ever have, to be real.
No. I had a couple of friends tell me that I was, kind of chubby. Male friends, by the way. Always male friends. The ladies do not come at you with this shit.
No.
Hey, well, I don't know. My mom did.
I think you dealt with it more, though, because, like, I think it's, first of all, like, I think that you kind of self-select for certain kinds of people. I actually kind of miss that about being bigger, to be honest with you, is that, like, I notice that there are people now who will have more to do with me than they would before. Or, like, there are people who will, like, make really shitty comments about people's weight or that sort of thing because, like, they feel more comfortable doing it around me now or something like that. And something that I really liked about being bigger was that it really, like, selected out the assholes. You know what I mean? Like, the people and also, like, the people who were my friends and who were expressing interest in me, I felt like were doing so because they thought I was, like, my personality was great and I was smart and fun and all of those things. And I think that what happened, and I think that felt good to me in a lot of ways. And it also, I think because of the trauma that I went through, I got a lot of attention from men really early when I was, like, in puberty.
Right. And
I was tall and, like, I developed kind of quickly, and that attention was always negative for me. Like, that I wanted it, and I wanted the attention, and I wanted to be, like, a very pretty girl, but also, like, the consequences of that were always really negative for me, and then I ended up, like, not wanting to feel attractive.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. I do, because the consequences you see it at a goddamn conference. Can I go to a conference without being creeped on?
No, and I really hate being creeped on. Like, I really I really hate it.
It's the worst. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. It makes me feel unsafe, you know? But at the same time, you also want to be attractive.
Right, because there's like a lot of social capital that comes with being attractive, and there's a lot of doors that open for you that wouldn't otherwise open for you. And another thing that I had to struggle with a lot, and you and I talked about this early on as I was, you know, confronting this stuff, is that like I am an extraordinarily hardworking person, and I always have been.
Right.
You know, and like I realized that that was not the impression that people would get of me, and it was just because like people are basing their thoughts about who I am as a person based on my body, and I can understand why people make that connection and whatever, but it was hard for me because I had to realize like all the other things. Like I was protecting myself from this one kind of thing, but I was also like hurting myself in a lot of other ways, because I think people made like assumptions about me and who I was as a person and what I was capable of based on that, which was just like a part of who I was, you know?
Yeah, and I do think that that's an accurate assessment, because I've seen it happen to you. I know the work that you deliver. I am aware of the numbers, you know?
Right.
Like, I know that those arrows are very much green and pointing upward, but I don't think that, you know, in some business settings or whatnot, that you would get the full credit for what you deserved.
Right. And that's a really hard thing to deal with, you know, because it's really easy to be like, to blame other people for that and to think they're shitty. And to be real, I've got a long list of people that I'm like, I know you're secretly shitty. Right. But, you know, but at the same time, I had to look at myself and be like, you've let this get to this point. And to be real, as much as those things, the things that contributed to me gaining all of that weight might not have had much to do with my work or the quality of my work or my character or any of that, they also weren't unrelated. And like there was a certain amount of chaos in my life that was allowing that to happen, and people do pick up on that, and it sucks to realize, I don't know, I guess just to realize all of the ways that I was holding myself back. And I guess the first one, and the one that I really noticed the most, was when, because you and I had already traveled together, and I love to travel, and
right.
I'd gotten to the point where like flying on an airplane, I could still get in one seat, but it was not like a fun experience for me. I had a seatbelt extender, which
not a sexy thing,
which was traumatizing as all hell for me.
Right.
And that was like a recent development in like the last year, right before we went to vacationing, because I'd put on a lot of weight in that year. But I was still traveling, and I was kind of the girl who was like, fuck it, I don't care, I'll still wear a bathing suit, I'll still go to the beach, I'll still travel, just stop me, you know?
Right.
And I was like, and I thought that it would be like a really empowering experience for me, except that we got to Puerto Rico and the beach was like 0.8 miles away.
Right.
And we went there on the first day, and we had to like walk there in the sun, and it's not like this was hilly or challenging on any level, it was just hot.
Yeah.
And it was 0.8 miles, and I like really about passed out.
I was very concerned for you that first time that we made the trip, because I wasn't exactly sure where the beach was. You know, the locals had pointed me
right. They were like
in a direction, and I was like, come on, girl, we got this. But I saw how red you were. We had to take breaks. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do if she passes out on this highway?
No, and I was thinking that too. I was just like, shit. And then I was also like concerned because, I mean, you and I didn't think you were going to like ditch me or anything, but also like we were at the very beginning of this like grand adventure we had planned together, and I was like, what if I can't keep up? Right. You know, like what if I can't do it? And that sucked to even think about. And I remember just being like, but even then I wish I could say that like I went through that experience and I was like, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to turn it around. I did kind of, but I don't know. I think even then I've lost 100 pounds, and I have a hard time believing that it's possible to do that. And before I'd even started, it really didn't feel possible. You know, but I thought maybe things could get better. So it's like slowly we started turning it around. Like you and I started eating really healthy.
Yeah. We got Fitbits, and there was a track right across the street from our house that I would go and take walk and talks, and I would have long conversations with friends on the phone and just walk around that track, and I would walk for miles, you know? And then the ladies in Puerto Rico, I don't mean to generalize, but like, goddamn, have you seen asses like that? Like they say that the Colombian ass is the best. I don't think that that's true. I think it's definitely the Puerto Rican asses that are the best. And it's because they do these squat jump things up stadium stairs.
Yeah, it was cool because they do have gyms and stuff in Puerto Rico, but they've got a lot of like outdoor, just free spaces where there's like a track and like all kinds of stuff and like little workout, like outside workout equipment. And people really do like go with their whole family And the kids are over here playing soccer and mom and dad are doing laps. And, you know, you better believe mom's getting those squat jumps in.
Mom is definitely getting those squat jumps in.
Right? And so we would go over there, and that was, it started as like my goal was to get to the point where I could walk 10,000 steps in a day. And I remember the first time I did that, I couldn't walk for like 2-3 days. Like couldn't walk.
Right. I remember.
You know? And then I was like, all right, let's do it again. And like I would start going to the track with you. That felt somehow like, because it was right across the street. You know what I mean? So like I could really kind of push myself there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I could walk so far that I couldn't get back.
Right.
You know? Just going in a circle. And I know that we would be like, all right, we're going to do 4 laps. And then you'd be like, bonus lap. And I was like, motherfucker. But I made a promise to myself really early on that I wouldn't say no. That like if you asked me to go walk, that I wouldn't say no. And that if you said bonus lap, that I wouldn't say no.
And I loved a bonus lap.
You did love it. You loved it. Because to be clear, there'd be like 6 bonus laps.
I know. I'd be like, bonus lap. I'm a fast walker too.
So we didn't even have a scale then, but I did lose weight I probably lost like 30 pounds in that first month.
Yeah, we ate a lot of broccoli and dippy eggs.
Yeah, so that was crazy. And then it was just slowly over time. It took months. By the time we were in Montreal, that was like in May, you and I were doing at least 10,000 steps a day, usually more. And we were just constantly walking, and we'd like walk up to this market that was like 2 miles away and go get food for lunch and like come back, like healthy stuff, you know?
Yeah, that was our regular thing for a while. And it was great because we got all of those steps in, and then, you know, we got to pick out what we wanted for lunch, and it was healthy and fresh and good.
Yeah. So it really was a process. And it wasn't until, you know, by the fall we were in Amsterdam, and that was when we started working out with Yost, our trainer. And that was like a game changer for me. Like that started, and also just being in Amsterdam, because there's no fucking around in Amsterdam. Like I know when we first moved here, we would take Ubers all the time, and everyone would give us shit for it, because once you understand the city, a car is never the best way to get, unless you're trying to get out of the city. If you are in the city, a car is not the best way to get.
No, if you're trying
anywhere.
to get to Germany, a car is a good option. If you're trying to get to
if
the
you're trying
city
to go to like
center,
Rotterdam,
you don't need that car.
Like it's a mess. Like you just, it's so hard to explain how much a car is a nightmare.
But biking and walking around here, we've gotten a lot of steps in this city. It's a very walkable city.
Yeah. And so like things just became a lot more active. By December, I was able to do a 5K with my little siblings. I was slow as fuck. It took me like 50 minutes or something to run that thing, to trot it lightly.
You did it though.
But I did that.
And that was a bucket list item for you. You wanted to do that. You wanted to be able to do that. There was a 0% chance that the first day that you came out on workationing that you would have been able to do a 5K.
No, not even just walked it. Not if you gave me 2 hours.
No.
You know what I mean? And like and in the year before, I did it with my siblings, which meant a lot to me. And the year before, they had all gone and done it, and I stayed at home. And actually, like, went to go make them breakfast and, like, slipped in the parking lot and, like, busted my ass. You know what I mean? Like, it was not cute. And that was the year before. So, like, for me to be able to, like, go and do that with them and, like, not finish last and, like,
right,
it was good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I guess I wish I sounded more inspirational right now. Because I really do want to like inspire other people that you can do this. But it's also, I think that like what people need to understand is that like it's just hard.
Yeah, you've got to embrace the suck, as our friend Tatiana says, and doesn't remember that she said this to us. She's got so many like gems of wisdom.
And then every time I bring it up, she's like, I said what now? I'm like, girl, I wrote that down.
I know. That changed my life. Your whole like no cheeseburgers policy.
Right? She's like full of wisdom that she does not remember.
It's one of my favorite things about her, though.
I'm just like, girl, you just like lay these pearls at my feet. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, let me think about this every day and change my life based on it. She's like, I don't even remember saying that. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough process. I guess what I want people to understand about it, especially like if you're struggling with it, even if you're not trying to lose 100 pounds, let's say you're trying to lose 20,
right.
You're trying to lose 60, you're trying to, you know, is that like, it is so hard and slow. And at the beginning, it's the hardest. I remember thinking at the beginning when I would be on the track with you or whatever, I would just keep going because what were my options? I could go on back to Ohio is what I could do if I wasn't going to do this.
Right.
That's what was pretty clear to me. You know what I mean? And I had a friend who was in it and was really supportive of me. But it was clear to me, and you never said that to me, but I mean, it was clear to me just because of the reality of the situation that like I needed to get this shit together or I was not going to make it very long on this trip, you know? So I would just do it every day. But I remember thinking like, God, you know, eventually I'm really going to have to become a person who exercises. And that felt so impossible to me because when walking a mile feels like an impossible task for you, the idea that you're someday going to work out in a hardcore way seems literally impossible. But it's been a year and a half. And I actually work out in a pretty hardcore way now.
Yeah, you do. We were just talking about how it seems like you're coming down with some sickness. And like at some point you became the person that said out loud to me, God damn it, if I get sick, then I'm not going to be able to go to F45 this week.
Right?
It's going to ruin my workout plans.
No, and it's become like really important to me. I really love it. It's like actually important to my mental health that I work out. And the working out that I do this. We talked a little bit in the last episode. It's like this high intensity interval training. It's just like cardio weightlifting.
It's what Hugh Jackman used to get ripped for Wolverine.
If
that's any indication.
They're like, here, pick this thing up that's too heavy for you, and you're going to do deadlifts. It's just as many as you can.
Until you cry. Go.
Right, go.
How many can you do?
And I'm just like, I don't know. But I can do it. I'm not the most fit person in that class, that's for sure. And I definitely like still have to modify some things and whatever. But I do it, and I feel fantastic doing it. So, and this version of me is not one that seemed possible to me a year and a half ago. And I think that's why it feels like I didn't really do it. It's because I just like, it's so slow. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. And if you need help throughout the process and you don't have a gringa friend, we love our internet therapist. I love that I get to talk to her whenever, message her multiple times a week, goes wherever I go. And we love our internet therapist so much that we have an affiliate relationship with BetterHelp.com. So if you go to BetterHelp.com/workationing, that's BetterHelp.com/workationing, because I've recently been told that it's incorrect to call it a backslash.
No, I know. My world was turned upside down. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Right. Yeah. Jason wrote in hot with a tip that was like, ladies, it's not backslash.
You'd think I didn't work at the internet, but okay.
I know. I felt like I should have really known that one too.
Yeah, that seems like one I should know.
BetterHelp.com/workationing will hook you up with a free week of internet therapy.
Yeah, and my internet therapist has been huge for me through this because, like I said, like this is all a mind fuck. And I wanted to talk about this in a really honest way just because, I don't know, it's hard to even talk to friends about it. And I understand why. And it's because everybody wants to be supportive.
Right.
And they want to celebrate my win.
Yeah.
And they want to be like proud of me. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of hate myself more than I've ever hated myself right now. You know what I mean? And like, that's the hard stuff. Like sometimes you need somebody to say that to because it's a mind fuck, because it makes you confront so many things inside of yourself.
Right.
And also, like, to get as big as I was, there was a large amount of denial involved. And so taking the weight off has meant confronting the situation. And now suddenly, like, I actually feel bigger now than I did 100 pounds ago.
Right.
And like, that's not something you can necessarily always bring to your friends. You know what I mean? Because
No.
they don't know what to say to you. Because you're like, you look like a different person. And look at you go. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, like,
high five, sister, you know, but then that comes with all kinds of, you know, body dysmorphia issues and whatnot. And again, you know, like you said, confronting the fact that it had gotten to that point in the first place and you're still working through all of that. Like, I want to be as supportive as I can.
And you've been fucking great, by the way. You really have been through the whole thing.
Thank you. I really try and show up for you, you know, but like, I don't know what to say. I want to make sure that you're okay. And just like,
No, and people don't know what to say. And I don't know what I want them to say. But like, my internet therapist has been really helpful, you know?
Yeah.
So BetterHelp.com/workationing. I'm telling you, it's helpful.
It
Very
is.
good.
And she's helped me work through a bunch of my shit too. Dating while losing weight.
Yeah, that has been super, super weird. So this is something I've talked with you about. We've actually talked about it a little bit on the podcast, is that like something that's weird about getting to the size that I was, which I might as well just tell people I don't even care at this point.
Right.
Like I weighed 335 pounds in my biggest. When we started workationing was like my biggest. And at that weight, if there was anything that first of all, I did not have trouble getting a date.
Right.
Like, that was not a problem that I had. I had boyfriends and partners and fiancés and through all of this for multiple years. Like, I never had a problem. If anything, the problem that I had was I had to be really selective about who I dated because I ended up feeling fetishized by the people that I would date.
Right.
Which was something that I really hated, you know, because I wanted somebody who was into me and into my body type and all of that. But the problem is that like at that size, for a lot of people, it becomes like a fetish thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really like the opposite of what I wanted. Like to me, that always felt really dehumanizing and humiliating and not good. And there were times when I felt like people were in a relationship with like my ass and not with me.
Right.
I think we mentioned it once. I even one time dated a guy for a few weeks before I found out that he had been literally stalking me for like 2 years, taking pictures of my ass on campus and like posting them on a blog on the internet that like people followed and then I had been dating him for a few weeks before I even knew this.
That's so sketchy. Didn't you get him like expelled from the school for that?
Yeah, he got it was he and a bunch of other dudes, because then like it started off being just about my ass, but then it was about like they had like a whole blog of like the asses of Akron, like kind of it makes me sick to even think about it. Like it was just really to know that. And then this was somebody who had like been in my home. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's
a real mindfuck.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was a weird situation, but losing weight has been super weird too, because like it's hard for me to get a sense of like who I should even date, and like I can't really tell who's attracted to me anymore, and like I don't know, like it's so weird. It's like such a weird situation. And as you lose weight, when you lose 100 pounds, you come into somebody's weight range that they find attractive, and then all of a sudden you're out of it. You know what I mean? And like now you're skinnier. I have had men tell me that they don't think I should lose weight, that they think I have like a beautiful body, and like why would I destroy it by like
getting healthy? And
I'm just like, well, because I'm not going to base like major health decisions on being attractive to you in particular, homeboy. That's why.
Right.
There's
and who are you again?
Right. Know? There's like 3.5 billion of you out there. Like I'll find somebody else.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
They're all on Tinder too.
Right?
You know,
like I'm not making this decision based on you. And it's a weird thing for me now too, because like I'm at this point where like I'm really obsessed with F45. That's like my thing. And now I'm to this point where like when I think about the kind of relationship that I want, I'm realizing how much like working out regularly helps me not just lose weight, but it helps me with the things that I think I was medicating myself with, like food and alcohol and all the stuff that made me lose weight before.
Right.
Is like I've always struggled with anxiety and depression, and I've taken pills in the past. For me personally, that has never been a great solution. I know that for some people it is, like no judges, you know, but like for me personally, it's never been great. And the only thing that I have found that helps me is like exercise and like significantly cutting back on drinking. That's what gets me to my happy place. And so when I think about who I want to date, I want like a gym bae. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I want a dude who like wants to go to the gym, because like that's what I would like to do with my time, actually.
Right. And it helps to have a partner who's supportive and wants to do that with you, because if you're with somebody who just wants to sit on the couch and Netflix all day,
right,
that's a quick way to backslide.
Right. And I've actually taken like kind of a break from dating right now, because I feel like there's this person that I'm kind of like rapidly becoming, you know, but that like I'm not really I don't look like anybody's gym bae yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're getting there.
I don't look I do not yet look like someone who works out hardcore all the time, but I will at some point. And it's less about a looks thing. It's just like I want somebody who's into the kind of stuff that I'm into.
Right.
So I don't know. It's very, very strange. And then also there's like little things like I feel like it's so weird how much people comment on your body and people don't on mine, but I think maybe it's because like they just know better. Like you only have like, they're like 5 to 10 pounds. That's all, girl.
You just go do that.
Right. And they don't feel like they're like insulting you with me. I feel like it's
I hear it all the time.
A different situation. I have like had sex with someone and had them ask me later, like, so have you like recently lost a shit ton of weight? Like not even a crappy way, but just in a like, hi, I'm Dutch, and
and I have a question.
Right.
Dutch guy question here.
Yeah, like I'm Dutch and I just really can't shut up. You know? And that's really fun to be like naked with somebody when they ask you that question and you're just like,
what did you say yes?
Yeah. It's not something that I lead with because I just hate talking about it.
Right.
You know, but like I don't hide it either. I'm much quicker to tell friends than dates. I feel like probably I should say something to a date before I get naked with them.
Yeah, you tell all the strangers on the internet about it.
Right?
You were in Women's Health at like minus 85, right?
Right.
And how many pounds have you lost total now?
Over 100. Like 105.
That's really hardcore.
Yeah.
It's really hardcore. That's really badass, too.
Thanks.
Look at what you did, sister.
I know. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I should be like, yes, I did it. And like, cause that's the message I want to send. And I do want to like inspire people, but I also want to be really just real about it. Cause if anybody else is going through it, it's like, it's a weird, am I excited and happy and proud of myself? Yes. And I think you see sometimes when I'm like feeling myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every once in a while I'll put something on. I'll be like, this used to be fucking skin tight on me. And look at it.
Right.
Look at it now. I look like I'm wearing my dad's shirt. You
right.
know?
Yeah. That's 100% true.
And like, sometimes I just feel good, or sometimes, I do get a different kind of male attention again. You know what I mean? And like, and that's nice. And I do feel good about it. And I am really proud of myself. I'm more motivated than I've ever been now to like lose the rest of it. But it's just like, it's weird, dude.
It is. And it gets harder the smaller you get.
No, it does, because it used to be that I could just like cut back on drinking a little. I would mostly eat pretty well. And then I would just like get out and try to move this meat sack. And I was, at the beginning, I was just dropping like 20, 30 pounds a month.
Yeah, it was rapid weight loss for you. And I was so jealous.
And I was still just like eating French fries and like drinking. And
I was not. It took like 5 pounds on a 5'4" frame.
Right?
It's hard to do. Like right now, I think resting calorie burn is a smooth 1297.
Right?
That's what people eat on a motherfucking diet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like, hi, this is all of the food that you get if you just want to maintain your weight.
Right. And if you have just like even like 2 glasses of wine, suddenly you get to eat under 1,000 calories that day.
Yeah.
Which is not great. No.
And then it's like, well, what are those calories going to be? I like to go for the bulky stuff. So, cauliflower is a good go-to. Broccoli's a nice option. You can really snarf down some broccoli, and as long as you're not dipping it in nacho cheese, it's going to be okay. It's a free food. I need those free foods.
No, but it does get harder. And it's harder because like of the way that your metabolism changes too. Because now my body has gotten used to rapid weight loss. And so it like does everything that it can to slow it down. Like to be clear, when I lost 85 pounds and then was in Women's Health for that was like back in like October, November of last year.
Right.
And it took me another till July of this year to lose the next 15 just to get to, because like I backslid, I put some on, I took some off. It took me a long time to do it. It was like, that was a really tough time because you hit this wall. And now it's like, I still probably I would like to lose somewhere between probably about 40 and 60 more pounds. It's hard for me to tell because I put on a ton of muscle because of the kind of working out that I do. It's hard to tell exactly where I want to end up. It's more of like a feeling,
Right.
So I'm not like putting an end number on it, but I am still enough overweight that I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. Like somebody who just had to lose, like if you were just starting out and you had 40 pounds to lose, I do not feel like it would be that hard to cut this 40 pounds. So like I feel like the first 20 pounds you could get off pretty quick, but I've been doing this for over 100 pounds now. And so my body's like, nah, girl, like my body's saving up for the long winter. And I'm just like,
but I don't need that.
I'm like, fuck you, body.
I'm trying to biohack this shit with the keto diet. That was a mistake.
No, and I'm trying to figure it out too, because then I started working out at F45 and they've got like these heart monitors and stuff, and they like measure your cardiac output, and then after every class, something that I love is I get an email that tells me how many calories I burned, and it's like over 800 calories basically every time, and I'm doing that like 4 or 5 days a week, plus like I've been really trying to eat super clean, staying away from the booze. I really felt like doing that I should just be cutting weight like a motherfucker. And my body's like, no, girl.
No, I know, because you come out sometimes and like I can tell you weigh yourself every morning. We both weigh ourselves every morning. This is what we do now. Healthy habits or something. I guess it starts with confronting yourself on that goddamn scale every morning.
People are like, you shouldn't weigh yourself every day. It's not healthy. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I need the personal accountability every single motherfucking day.
Yeah,
For
like
me, I
too.
do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I won't weigh myself for a month and I'll put on 10 pounds. Like... This is an everyday. I need complete...
I know, me too, because I need to know. Because when we had the fattening a couple of months ago where we both packed on some weight.
Yeah. Just real quick.
Thanks, keto diet.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that if you don't cook. You know? But I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. I knew that I was looking a little fluffy, but I hadn't stepped on that scale because I was like, you're looking a little fluffy and you don't want that bad news this morning.
Right.
You know? You're feeling a little... You'll feel skinnier tomorrow, and girl, then you can get on that scale. And I would do that, like, I don't know, every day, but then not for a long time.
Right.
And then we both were just like, it's time.
Yeah. No, we both woke up and we're like, we got to go stand on that scale, girl.
I know, let's do it together.
It's the reckoning.
You know, it's time.
We both knew it was bad.
It was so much worse than I thought, though.
No.
So now we weigh ourselves every day. But some days you come out, and like, I know that you're not binge eating pizza in your bedroom when I'm not looking. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen the goddamn pizza boxes. But what I'm getting at is that, like, you've come out lately and you're like, I'm down like a half pound this week. And I'm like, how is that even possible?
Well, that's the thing that I'm dealing with right now is I feel like my body is like constantly a science experiment. And it's because, so with F45, part of the thing that made me join is I joined because they were doing this like 8-week challenge where you follow this diet and then you work out a shit ton and watch yourself transform.
Right.
And I will say some people at the gym are looking really amazing. I actually have not, I injured myself 2 weeks ago, fell off my bike. Not good. I'll probably tell that story at some point.
Right.
But I've been injured, so like I've been kind of out of the 8-week challenge because I haven't been able to work out as much. But I made it through the first 4 weeks, and then there's like a scan after 4 weeks to see how you're doing. And I lost 4 kilos, which is like 8.8 pounds in the first 4 weeks, which was great because I'd been plateaued for a long time. And so that was huge for me. But I'd also lost some muscle mass doing that. And I had to sit down with my friend Courtney, who runs, she's the head trainer and like GM over at F45, and we've become friends. And like she was just like, you're not eating enough. And that's the first time, girl, when you are a lady who makes it up to 335 pounds, believe no one has ever told me I was not eating enough.
No, but look at this transformation. Like all of a sudden people are telling you that you're not eating enough. You're bitching about how if you get sick, it's going to ruin your workout plan.
Right?
You're talking about finding a gym bay, which like, I didn't even know that term existed.
I just made it up, but I want one.
Okay, all right. I'm glad because I was feeling very, very old. Because sometimes I feel a lot older than you, although we're both in our mid to late 27s.
No, I just wanted to. I've been thinking in my head. That's like what I've been calling him in my head is Jim Bay. I'm looking for him.
Okay, all
Jim
right.
Bay, if you're out there.
He's probably at F45.
He probably is. If he's not, if you're gonna date me, you're gonna have to do F45.
No, but look at all of these changes. This is all very good and all very positive, and it's
well. And now my new challenge is because I started working because I had been working out before. Like I had been working out with Yos, and so we were doing like really challenging weightlifting type stuff, but we weren't including like the cardio as much.
Right.
This is like both. And that's really intense. And so now I'm at this point where it's like I have to figure out how to eat enough calories.
And also the right kind.
And the right kind of calories so that my body loses weight instead of feeling like it's going into war and it has to hold on to everything. And so now, I'm trying to figure that out. But like it's just like a constant battle. And it's also realizing that I don't think I was ever taught. And if I was taught, I did not absorb this information. I think this is so for a lot of Americans, though. Like, I did not have any concept of what, like, healthfully taking care of your body looks like. I just think about the foods and the amount of foods that I thought were okay. And granted, I was an outlier. I was fatter than most.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think of, I don't know. I'm just real, like, I feel like an alien who has come into this human body and now is trying to figure out how to run it in an efficient and responsible manner. And it is an ongoing process.
Well, it's different out here, too, because as we've traveled outside of America and, the United States, as we've traveled outside of the United States, in basically every fucking country that we've been to, the portion sizes have been like, oh, is this what reasonable looks like?
Uh-huh.
The foods are just much... You can't even get Velveeta out here. We had to smuggle... Your brother smuggled us in Velveeta, and trust I'm having some friends who are coming out soon bring me a couple bricks of that stuff, too. You can't even import it at the America store. You go to the America store and say, hey, can you order me some Velveeta? I know it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to arrive, but, like, I'm down for that. He's like, nah, man, they won't let us import that fake cheese shit.
No, like you have to go to whoever like smuggles guns or something.
I've got to get some black market Velveeta.
Yeah, because they're not going to import it for you.
Is there a drug dealer I can call for that?
Well, and when Americans come out to visit us too, I noticed that like a lot of them, I have to tell them, I'm like, don't let us starve you. Because like you and I just eat so much less than we used to. When people come out to visit, they tend to be expecting to like.
Yeah, I'm big on the intermittent fasting too.
Yeah.
So like I'll stop eating at whatever time at night, but then I won't have breakfast or anything until like 2 or 3. And I'm cool with that.
See, I've had to stop that because of the working out. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's like a completely different life out here and in terms of the food. And it's part of the reason that I want to be here is because like I just feel like my life is it's easier for me to be healthy here than it is for me to be at home. Like the backsliding that I had over the last year, you know, before the fattening and even that was I went home for 6 weeks and I was still working out. I was actually loving working out, but I was eating a bunch of crap that I wouldn't normally eat. And then I came back here and it was dark all the time and we were stressed out and we were trying to get this business off the ground and we were doing all this stuff. And it was like,
immigrating isn't easy.
It's not. And we got real depressed and we ate too much brie.
Oh man. I cannot overstate how much brie I actually went through. The lady at the store, I think, was just like, do you just have a brie party every night?
Right.
Like, what is this?
And we're like, what? It's health food.
I know. I'm
cheese.
I'm going to put it on a Wassa cracker.
Right? Listen, the French would eat this with a baguette.
I know, and they're skinny.
I don't know what the French are doing, but it's not eating baguettes covered in brie. I can guarantee you that.
I don't understand how the French do it because you go to Paris and I've never seen such skinny women before.
No, the skinniest people I've ever, like, in the Netherlands, I say, of everywhere that we've been, these are the most fit.
Yeah, they're like, you know, healthy skinny.
Mm-hmm. No, and they've got like everybody's like
muscly.
Yeah.
You've got
but
tone.
In Paris, everyone is pin thin. Just like
I eat cigarettes.
Right.
Like, that's all I eat is cigarettes.
Right. I eat cigarettes and black coffee and I like it. And that's it. Because like these ladies in Paris, they're all like a 00.
It blows my mind whenever I go to Paris. I'm about to go there again soon. But tiny ladies. And yet the French are supposed to be eating this fucking baguette, wine, and cheese all the time. And I'm like, how is that possible? Because if I'm trying to lose weight, I cannot drink.
No,
it does not work. And I have been afflicted with a real love of beer. I love a good beer.
See, I love beer, but I pretend like I don't because like I can't.
There's nothing worse for you. Like,
no.
If you have like a pint of an IPA, what is that? Like 200-300 calories?
No, I might as well speed eat a loaf of bread. Like, there's just no
speed eat a loaf of bread.
Like, there's just no point in drinking a beer.
No, but I love it so much, you know. And I like the dark ones too. That's not good.
It's not easy. You know what else is not easy is that, and you experience this a bit too, is that like when you are losing weight. The one of the worst things about it is how motherfucking expensive it is.
It is so expensive to lose weight because you have to buy all new clothes. And the more weight you have to lose, the more clothes you have to buy because like you're in an in-betweensy stage right now, but do you want to invest in good clothes?
Right? And Amsterdam is a very chic place.
It is so stylish out here.
And people really... Kari and I like to say that our aesthetic... Like our fashion aesthetic is soccer mom going to Target.
Yes. Do you like my top knot?
Right?
These yoga pants don't have any stains
But I
on
feel
them.
so cute. I'll like put on some yoga pants and like a sweatshirt, but like it's, you know, it's a cute sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You know, and then I like pop on my like pink moto jacket and some like what I like to call my business Skechers.
She does have business Skechers. We got them for a business meeting. She needed
There was like
shoes.
only a Skechers store and I needed some black shoes and I was like, show me to your business Skechers.
And then the lady actually took us back to the business Skechers.
I was like, yes. But they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned, by the way. But I am a lady who like I wouldn't do it here, but in the US I would 1,000% wear one of the like ballet flat Crocs. I wasn't above that on any level. What? Girl, I do not give I should have been. Listen, I'm Ohio to my bones. That's all I can say.
I would have like I don't know, had I known that you had gotten to the point where you were wearing Croc ballet flats, I would have put in a call somewhere or something, you know?
They were so good though.
Can I get a wellness check on Kelly? She's wearing Crocs right now. No,
listen,
girl.
once you put them on your feet, you're just like, I don't care.
No.
Like, I don't. The business Skechers are a close second. But like, I will wear that. If I wore that outfit, just like yoga pants, some like ballet slides, and like a moto jacket and a sweatshirt, and you put your hair up in a top knot, and you throw on some aviators, and like, girl, you are looking cute.
Yeah.
In the United States, like, you can totally go to Target, girl.
You can go to Target. You can go to Panera for lunch after Target. You can meet up with your friends for a drink after Panera.
No, I could go to the bar like that and get hit on.
You can wear it. Is totally acceptable, and I love this myself. Full range of motion in those yoga pants. Do you know what I mean? They come up a little higher and they're snugger, and so like you don't get any kind of like belly.
No, yoga pants are like the most perfect clothing that there is.
They make just about everyone's butt look okay,
right?
You know.
But yeah, no, you can't really do that here.
They do not like that.
And I literally just tell my friends, I'm just like, I hope you guys like these same 5 outfits because like right now I've been losing weight kind of quickly again, and I want to buy some new stuff. Except that right now it's the end of August, which in the Netherlands means summer is over. I hope you liked it.
Yeah,
it lasted 5 weeks and now it's done, and it's already like thunderstorms and getting chilly, and we're moving into fall.
Yeah,
and so for me to buy new clothes right now doesn't make a lot of sense because by next summer I'm going to look different. And so like, why would I buy things that are appropriate for like summer, now? Right, yeah. I might buy a few things once for the colder weather, but I'm in an in-between place. And I'm like, well, I hope you guys like these same 5 outfits because that's what I have right now. And I don't want to spend a ton of money on clothes because how many clothes have I bought in the last year and then gotten rid of because they got too big for me? None
of the clothes that I came on workationing. So I had a pretty sick closet. I like a dress.
Yeah.
You know, I had dozens of dresses.
You did have a bunch of good dresses, but they're all like way too big for you.
Yeah, you know, and like, you know, I think that most of them were size 8. I'm a size like 2 or 4 now.
Yeah.
In a dress, so like none of that worked. That was a sad time. Because like you collect clothes, you know, and as you stay the same size, you get to wear them forever. And like I like to think that I have a classic style, so you know all of those dresses that I bought 5 years ago were still okay, and I ended up giving them all to friends. Like they loved it.
No, I can't wait to get to the weight that I'm actually trying to get to. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly where that is going to end up being, but to where I feel like okay, this is good. I can maintain this.
Yeah,
you know, and. So I'm excited to get there because then I can start buying clothes again. But it's just like, I don't know. That sucks. And it's so expensive. Because, you know, when you have to buy new jeans, I've had to buy new jeans like 4 times in the last year.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I understand. Jeans are not expensive and they're not easy to shop for. Do you know what I mean? You got to, that's not a good time shopping for jeans. It's right up there with shopping for swimsuits for me.
Right? No, it's the worst.
It's a real confronting time getting on those jeans. And they're all fresh. They're all like fresh out of the dryer fresh, just like, right. And then you got to peel them off if they're too tight.
Yeah, no, it's a dark.
I get sweaty in the dressing rooms. It's like,
no, it's terrible. It's super, super terrible. So I don't know. I feel like I've talked about all the ways in which it's really awful and hard and expensive. And I don't know. I don't want to leave it on that note because
you can do more. Losing 100 pounds, I think, is definitely a bucket list item. You know,
it's really
cool.
You
needed to do that.
I needed to do it. It feels good because I know that there's all kinds of people who try and aren't able to do it, which I know that I've accomplished something that is very difficult.
Right.
I do feel like a different person. I feel in my body in a way that I hadn't for a long time. I think that made me really confront like the parts of the gaining weight that came from trauma. Because I think that I like really didn't want to feel in my body, and I think part of the reason that I never really got real about how much weight I gained and all of that was because like the assault that happened when I was 13 was actually like really violent and horrible, and I think I just didn't want to. I blamed my body in a way, like for the attention that it caused. And also I didn't like really want to be in it, and I feel like I couldn't see myself, like not really because I didn't want to. I just feel like there became like this disconnect between my brain and my body. Like I felt safe in my brain, but I didn't feel safe in my body. And so I didn't, and there are times now when I'm just like riding my bike or walking down the street or, you know, doing a really hard class and I'm really feeling it, but I'm also like, I can do this and look at me do it. And that feels so amazing. And I start to feel in my body again. And I've started to I feel like that barrier between my brain and my body is breaking down, and that feels really good, you know?
Right.
And it is amazing to be able to do all kinds of things. And I'm constantly, I feel like I don't know what I can do. I look at a chair and I don't know if I can fit into it, which is weird.
Right. But that was a concern that you had.
Yeah. And now it's like I just fit in all chairs, but there's always this fear that I'm going to go somewhere and like not fit in a chair.
Right.
I can sit in an airplane with like fully in the seat. That seatbelt extender is gone.
Yeah.
Been gone.
Never coming back. That can fuck on off into the sunset.
Yeah, that was one of the first things to go, and I was glad. By the time we were out of Colombia, I didn't need it anymore, and that was huge for me.
Well, and traveling as a bigger person, you used to talk about how like your back would be jacked up for days.
No, like, yeah, being on a plane for that long was really scary for me, and now it's like I can listen. I don't love being on a plane any more than anyone else, but I don't feel like I've been tortured
right
afterwards. So there's that. So like it helped me travel, and I don't know. I'm just excited to see. I don't have a ton of youth left, you know?
Right.
I'm 33, and I would like to just, take as good a care of my body as I can and see what I can make happen. And yeah, it's overall, it's the best thing I've ever done for myself. Even better than workationing, although I couldn't have done it without workationing. You know what I mean? Like I really I was so far gone in my mind. I was so depressed, and I had just given up on myself, and like I needed to like be broken out of my context and my habits, and I was in this place where it was like I knew I was going to die if I didn't turn it around. And it was like I could face this and do it now, or I could go back to Ohio and I could die.
Right. And
like I made my choice, and I'm really glad that I chose me.
Look at you not roll over and die, lady.
Right?
Do you know what I mean?
Right?
Oh, you're making me tear up. I am so proud of you. I really, really am so proud of you. And I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself, because I love you so much, and I want you to be around for a long time.
I love you too, girl. And thank you. Like, I really couldn't have done it without you. Like, you always were there for me, and like were really honest with me about it, but like never in a like nasty or shitty way. And I always felt like you were in my corner, and that you believed in me, and that you wanted me to succeed. And I also never felt like my weight or what I look like played into like the value that you saw in me. And so like that really meant a lot to me.
We gotta start crying on these podcasts. I don't think that people like it.
Just emotional lady.
It's because we're hungry.
I'm so hungry all the time.
Just on a diet.
Just constantly on a diet. Just constantly.
How many calories do you burn while crying?
Probably not enough.
I don't think so either.
Probably not enough.
All right, so we're gonna get back to more bucket list items soon for the podcast.
Yes.
We've got some travel upcoming, and we've been some places that we need to tell the people about. Turkey. You got to go hang out with your family up in not London,
Manchester.
Yeah,
and my brother came out. That was super cool. And we've got some more friends coming out this weekend.
We've flown planes.
Yeah,
so we can talk about some things.
Right.
We've got some hot content coming up too. So I think that's it, right? Did we do it?
Yeah, I think we did it. This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you've heard here, please consider donating at patreon.com/workationing. That's patreon.com. All proceeds will go towards funding our bucket list items.
To keep up with us in real time, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Workationing. Or on our website at, you guessed it, workationing.com. That's workationing.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. You know what I like about ear snacks?
What, girl?
They're calorie free. At least once a week. No, many times a week. Several times, 3 times a week. We go full blown fatty and talk about all the food that we like to eat.
We do. And it's like we close our computers and we like turn towards each other and we're like, girl, nachos.
Like with cheese sauce. Girl, Long John Silver's hush puppies.
It's like,
Taco Hut.